We are counting down the top 10 USA 1-cent pennies that collectors are hunting like gold. These tiny coins look ordinary, but some of them are worth thousands, even millions of dollars. And the shocking part is one of these pennies could still be sitting in your drawer right now. Before you skip this video, check your pennies carefully, because a single rare cent can change everything, from the legendary wheat penny to error coins that shocked the auction world. We are revealing the most wanted, most valuable 1-cent coins ever discovered, and the prices will blow your mind. Stay with us till number 1, because it is one of the rarest pennies in American history, and collectors are paying insane money to own it. First up, the most wanted steel penny, 1943. Today we are diving into one of the most shocking and mysterious coins ever created in American history. A tiny coin that looks simple, cold, and gray, but hides a story that collectors chase for decades. The 1943 steel wheat penny, a wartime survivor, a metal experiment, and for a lucky few, a coin that has sold for life-changing money. This is not just pocket change. This is history pressed into steel. And if you have one hiding in a jar drawer or old family collection, you might be sitting on a treasure worth thousands, and in rare cases even more. The year is 1943. The world is at war, and the United States is desperate to save copper for ammunition and military equipment. The US Mint makes a radical decision for 1 year. Only pennies will no longer be copper. Instead, they will be made from steel coated with zinc, creating the famous silver-colored penny that shocked Americans when it first appeared. People thought the coins were foreign fake or toy money, but these strange pennies quickly became symbols of wartime sacrifice and innovation. More than 1 billion steel cents were produced in 1943 across 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But even with such huge production numbers, condition rarity and mint errors turned some of these coins into collector legends. Not all 1943 steel pennies are equal. Some are common and worth a few dollars, while others are worth hundreds, thousands, or more, depending on grade shine and historical importance. The average circulated 1943 steel penny today can sell between $5 and $20. Depending on detail, and surface preservation coins that avoided rust are especially valuable because steel reacts easily with moisture. Many were lost to corrosion over the years, which makes clean, bright examples harder too. Find collectors pay premiums for coins with original luster-smooth surfaces and sharp wheat lines. Uncirculated examples, graded by professional services, can reach $5,100 or several $100 high-grade coins, with strong eye appeal, continue to rise in value as collectors compete for the best-preserved survivors of wartime America. A perfect mint state example, graded at the highest levels, has sold for thousands, showing that even a mass state example graded at the highest levels has sold for thousands, showing that even a mass-produced coin can become elite when condition approaches perfection. Now we enter the world of errors. And this is where the story becomes explosive during the transition from copper to steel. A tiny number of bronze planchets from 1942 accidentally remained in the presses. When 1943 production began, the result was one of the most famous mint mistakes in US history. The 1943 bronze penny, a coin that should not exist. These rare pieces look like normal copper pennies, but carry the 1943 date. Only a handful are known, and when they appear at auction, they create headlines. One authenticated example sold for over $1 million, making it one of the most valuable small denomination coins ever discovered. Imagine finding a penny worth more than a luxury home. This is why collectors examine every 1943 cent carefully, because the dream of discovery is real. Another fascinating variety is the 1943 doubled die and off-center strikes, where the design appears shifted or duplicated. These mint errors can multiply value dramatically depending on visibility and grade. Even subtle errors attract attention because they represent mechanical chaos frozen in metal. Each mistake tells a story about speed pressure and wartime demand inside the mint. Collectors also search for replated coins. Many steel cents were coated again after rust damage, which can reduce value. Experienced buyers look for natural aging, correct texture, and authentic surfaces. Understanding originality is critical because the market rewards coins that remain untouched by modern alteration. The Denver and San Francisco mint marks add another layer of excitement. 1943D and 1943S steel pennies in high grade can command strong premiums, especially when certified and preserved with brilliant surfaces. Registry set collectors compete aggressively for top population coins, pushing prices higher every year as supply remains fixed and demand continues to grow. The steel penny is more than currency. It is a snapshot of a nation under pressure. It represents a sacrifice industry and adaptation during one of the most intense periods in global history. Owning one connects collectors directly to the World War era, to factories running day and night, to families saving metal for victory, and to a mint forced to innovate at record speed. Market trends show steady collector interest in World War era. Coinage educational content and social media exposure continue to introduce new generations to the hobby as younger collectors enter the market. Iconic coins like the 1943 steel cent gain. Renewed attention affordability at entry level, combined with legendary rare varieties, creates a perfect gateway coin for beginners and experts alike. If you believe you have a rare 1943 penny, the first step is authentication. Never clean the coin. Cleaning destroys value. Store it safely in a dry holder and consult a professional grading service. Weight is a key clue. A steel penny weighs about 2.7 grams. While the rare bronze version weighs around 3.1 grams, color magnet response and expert verification are essential before making any claims. Stories continue to surface of people discovering valuable coins in inherited collections, estate sales, and forgotten jars. These moments fuel the passion of coin collecting, because treasure hunting is not fiction. It happens in real life, and the steel penny remains one of the strongest reminders that everyday objects can carry extraordinary worth. As prices evolve, collectors watch auction records, population reports, and grading statistics. High-end steel cents continue to break expectations while affordable examples remain accessible, allowing anyone to own a piece of wartime history. The combination of historical drama, metal experimentation, and million-dollar rarities ensures the 1943 steel penny will always command attention. The steel penny also created unexpected problems. The zinc-coated surface often reacted with air and moisture, causing dark stains and rust spots within months of entering circulation. Many Americans complained that the coins looked dirty or damaged, even when new vending machines sometimes rejected them, because the metal confused the sensors, and people frequently mistook them for dimes, which led to frustration in everyday transactions. This public reaction shows how deeply coin design affects daily life and trust in currency. Because of these issues, the experiment ended after only 1 year in 1944. The mint returned to copper using recycled shell casings from the war effort, which adds another powerful layer of symbolism. Coins literally made from battlefield materials circulated through American pockets. The steel penny, therefore, the steel penny therefore stands alone as a 1-year emergency issue, a frozen moment where economics, war, and engineering collided. Collectors today divide steel cents into categories based on preservation, originality, and visual appeal. Bright uncirculated coins with mirror-like shine are called blazing examples, and these command the highest. Premiums coins with light toning can also be desirable when the color is even and natural. Advanced collectors often study strike quality, looking closely at Lincoln's hair, the wheat stalk lines, and the rim sharpness, because strong strikes signal careful minting and superior dyes. Third-party grading companies transformed the steel penny market by creating trust-certified coins sealed in protective holders. Allow buyers worldwide to trade confidently. Auction archives show steady appreciation for top-grade coins, especially those graded mint state 67 and above. Population reports reveal how few perfect survivors actually exist, compared to the billions originally struck. Survival, not mintage, is what drives rarity. Another hidden factor influencing value is storage history. Steel cents stored in dry albums or original rolls had a much higher chance of surviving without corrosion, while coins exposed to humidity suffered permanent damage. This is why untouched rolls discovered decades later create excitement in the hobby. They act as time capsules, delivering coins that look as if they just left the mint in 1943. There are also experimental patterns related to wartime metal research. Although most never reach circulation, their existence highlights the intense pressure on the mint to innovate. Historians view the steel cent as part of a larger story about industrial adaptation. When raw materials become scarce, governments must rethink even the smallest objects, including the humble penny. Counterfeits add another dramatic chapter because of the $1,000,000 Bronze Era criminals have attempted to copperplate steel cents or alter dates from 1948 coins to mimic the rare 1943 bronze version magnets. Instantly expose many fakes, since genuine bronze cents are not magnetic, but advanced forgeries require professional analysis. This cat-and-mouse game between counterfeiters and experts keeps the legend alive and reminds collectors to rely on authentication. Auction houses love featuring steel penny stories because they attract public imagination. Headlines about pennies selling for astonishing prices bring new attention to numismatics every time a rare example appears. Bidding wars erupt not only from investors, but from passionate historians who see themselves as guardians of American artifacts. Each record sale reinforces the steel cent's mythical reputation. Beyond price, the emotional value of these coins cannot be overstated. Many families pass them down as keepsakes from grandparents who lived through the war. Holding a 1943 steel penny connects modern collectors to that generation. To ration books, victory gardens, and factory sirens, coins become storytellers carrying memory across time in a way few objects can match. For beginners, the steel penny is often the first step into serious collecting. It is affordable, historically rich, and easy to recognize. Searching Rolls coin shops and estate boxes becomes an adventure. Education grows naturally as collectors learn grading terminology, mint marks, and preservation techniques. The journey from casual curiosity to expert knowledge often begins with this small gray coin. Advanced collectors pursue registry quality sets, aiming for the finest certified example from each mint competition at the highest level. Is fierce because upgrading even a fraction of a grade can cost thousands. This pursuit of perfection reflects a universal collector instinct, the desire to own the best surviving piece of a historical puzzle. Looking forward, analysts predict continued stability in the steel cent market. Iconic coins rarely disappear from demand, and as long as World War history remains studied and remembered, the 1943 penny will hold its spotlight. Digital marketplaces have expanded access, allowing collectors from every continent to participate, transforming what was once a local hobby into a global network of buyers, researchers, and storytellers. We are diving into one of the most mysterious pennies that collectors whisper about, but most people ignore: the 1971 black tiny penny, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but hides a story that can shock even experienced collectors. Imagine finding a dark, strange-looking penny in your pocket and learning that under the right condition, it could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even talked about as a $1,000,000 rarity. This is not just a coin story. This is a treasure hunt hiding in plain sight. The 1971 1-cent coin was produced in massive numbers by the United States Mint. Yet inside those billions of coins exist tiny variations, errors, and unusual surfaces that turn a simple copper penny into a collector legend. The so-called black penny is not officially named by the Mint, but collectors use this nickname to describe coins that appear unusually dark, almost charcoal-colored, caused. Unusually dark, almost charcoal-colored, caused by rare toning chemical reactions or minting anomalies. And when these effects combine with high-grade condition, the value jumps into a different universe. Most people think a penny is just 1 cent, and they toss it into jars, drawers, and car cup holders. But serious collectors know that condition is everything. A 1971 penny in average circulated shape is worth face value, but a 1971 penny with rare surface preservation, deep, dark toning, and sharp details can sell for hundreds or thousands, especially when graded at the highest mint state levels by professional grading services. Coins graded MS-67 and above are extremely scarce, and when a coin also carries dramatic black toning, it becomes visually unique, and uniqueness drives collector demand. Now let us talk about the myth of the $1,000,000 penny, because headlines love extreme numbers, while most 1971 pennies will never reach that level. The excitement comes from auction psychology. When two determined collectors want the same rare coin, prices can explode. Records are made not because of metal value, but because of rarity story and competition. And the 1971 penny has a fascinating background. It was struck during a time when mint technology was changing, and plancher quality sometimes created unexpected results, including off-color finishes and unusual textures. One of the most valuable aspects to watch for is mint errors. A 1971 penny with double die features, off-center strikes, clipped planchers, or wrong metal compositions can multiply value instantly if a black-toned penny also carries a visible error. You are looking at a dream scenario for collectors. Error plus eye appeal equals serious money. Some verified error pennies from the early 1970s have crossed auction blocks for 5 figures. And every year, new discoveries push expectations higher. Another factor is storage history. Some pennies turned black because they were stored in original mint bags, vaults or albums where air chemistry slowly transformed the copper. Over decades, natural toning is prized when it is stable and attractive. Collectors call this monster toning and coins, with dramatic dark rainbow or black surfaces often command premium prices, because no two-toned coins ever look the same. Each one becomes a fingerprint of time. If you believe you have a 1971 black penny, the first step is never to clean it. Cleaning destroys collector value instantly. Even a rare coin becomes common after harsh polishing. Instead, examine the coin under soft light. Look for sharp lettering, strong Lincoln portrait details, and minimal wear. Then compare with certified examples. Online professional grading by services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate condition and unlock the true market value, because serious buyers trust graded coins. Auction history shows that top population pennies from the 1970s continue to rise in value as registry collectors compete to build the finest sets. Population reports reveal how few perfect examples survive, and scarcity fuels long-term appreciation. A coin once ignored can suddenly become a star when collectors realize how rare the highest grades actually are. And that is happening with many modern pennies right now. The beauty of coin collecting is that treasure does not always glitter gold. Sometimes it looks dark, strange, and forgotten. The black 1971 penny represents opportunity, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. Every pocket coin has potential. Every jar of change is a mystery box waiting to be explored, and the next great find could be sitting quietly in your home. So before you spend another penny, slow down, check the date, examine the surface, and respect the possibility that history is hiding in your hands. Collectors who train their eyes today become the treasure finders of tomorrow. And the story of the 1971 black penny reminds us that value is not always obvious. It rewards patience, knowledge, and passion. As we go deeper into the world of the 1971 penny, we have to understand how survival rate shapes value, because billions were minted, but only a microscopic fraction survive in elite condition. Most coins entered circulation immediately. They were scratched, dented, and worn within weeks. But a coin that escaped circulation and remained untouched for decades becomes a time capsule, and collectors pay premiums for time capsules. Think about the journey of a single penny. Leaving the mint in 1971, it passes through counting machines, bank rolls, cash registers, and thousands of hands. Every contact adds friction. Every friction mark lowers grade. This is why a perfectly preserved coin feels almost impossible to find. And when one appears with unusual dark toning, it captures attention across the collector community. Rarity is not just about mintage numbers. It is about how many coins avoided damage, and that number is shockingly small. There is also a psychological layer to collecting that drives dramatic prices. Humans are wired to chase uniqueness. When a coin looks different from every other coin on the table, it becomes a spotlight object. Auction rooms thrive on spotlight objects. Bidders convince themselves they may never see another example. And in some cases, they are. Right. This emotional energy is what transforms copper into treasure and turns a 1-cent coin into a headline story. Let us talk about grading pressure. Because advanced collectors study microscopic details. They examine luster, strike quality contact marks, and eye appeal under magnification. A top-graded 1971 penny must show blazing mint luster, sharp wheat lines, no major distractions, and a surface that feels alive when tilted in. Light add dramatic black toning to that equation, and you have a coin that is both technically rare and artistically powerful. A combination that excites elite buyers. Modern auctions are global events. Bidders from different countries compete in real time, pushing prices far beyond guidebook expectations. The internet changed coin collecting forever. A rare penny discovered in a small town can reach collectors worldwide within days. Exposure increases competition. And competition increases value. The 1971 penny benefits from this digital era because modern coin sets are now being re-evaluated with fresh intensity. Another hidden driver of value is narrative collectors. Love coins with stories. A coin tied to a discovery hoard. A famous collection or a documented mint anomaly gains personality. And personality sells when sellers can present a coin, not just as metal, but as a chapter of. History buyers connect emotionally, and emotional connections often override strict price logic. Some of the strongest price growth in recent years has come from coins once labeled too common to matter, but grading data proves otherwise. When populations are studied carefully, collectors realize that perfect survivors are rarer than many classic coins from the 1800s. This shift in awareness is pulling attention toward modern pennies, including 1971 issues. And the market is still evolving, which means opportunity still exists for sharp-eyed hunters. Searching for valuable pennies is not about luck alone, it is about pattern recognition. Experienced collectors train themselves to notice texture, color strike, and preservation instantly. They develop a mental filter that separates ordinary change from potential treasures, and this skill grows with practice. Every roll searched, every coin examined, strengthens the eye and increases the odds of discovery. We are diving into one of the most mysterious pennies ever talked about online. A 1964 black, tiny penny that collectors claim could be worth life-changing money. And some people believe this coin is hiding in old jars, piggy banks, and forgotten drawers across America right now. Imagine holding a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but experts say one tiny detail could turn it into a collector dream. The year 1964 is famous in US coin history. This was a time of transition in American minting. Silver coins were disappearing, designs were changing, and billions of pennies were struck for circulation. Most of these coins are worth only 1 cent. But hidden among mass production, there are rare errors, unusual finishes, and strange toned coins that have shocked the collector market. So, what is the black 1964 penny story? Collectors use the word black to describe a coin that has turned extremely dark due to chemical reactions, improper storage, or rare mint surface conditions. Some of these coins develop deep charcoal toning that looks almost painted. And when the color is natural and combined with a mint error, the value can explode. Now let us talk about what actually makes a 1964 penny valuable condition. Is everything a normal worn penny is worth face value, but a 1964 penny in mint state with blazing red color can sell for serious money at auction. And when you add rare errors like off-center strikes, double die features, clipped planchets, or wrong metal strikes, the price can jump from dollars to thousands. There are rumors of special experimental planchets being tested in the 1960s, and collectors love to connect these rumors to unusual dark-colored pennies if a 1964 penny were ever discovered struck on the wrong metal or with a unique surface composition authenticated by a major grading company. It could become one of the most talked about coins in modern history. Imagine finding a penny that weighs wrong, looks black, and shows sharp detail. Experts would immediately run metal analysis tests, photography, and microscopic inspection. If proven unique, such a coin would attract elite collectors, private auctions, and global attention. This is how small coins turn into six-figure legends. But here is the truth that makes coin hunting exciting. You do not need $1 million coin to win the game, even a rare error. Penny worth a few $100s is an incredible return on a 1-cent investment, and thousands of valuable pennies are still being discovered every year by normal people checking pocket change. If you want to search for a valuable 1964 penny look For strong details in Lincoln hair, sharp lettering, clean rims, and unusual color, or strike errors, use a magnifier, check the date carefully, and compare with verified examples online. Never clean a coin. Cleaning destroys collector value instantly. The black appearance alone does not guarantee rarity, but when combined with originality and mint error characteristics, it becomes a story collectors want to hear, and stories drive auction prices in the coin world. Rarity plus mystery equals demand. Some collectors specialize only in toned coins because natural toning creates one of a kind. Artwork on metal. No two coins age the same way. A naturally dark penny with rainbow undertones can sell for far more than a bright red coin simply because of eye appeal. Think about how many pennies were thrown into drawers in 1964 forgotten for 60 years, reacting with air humidity and chemicals. Each one aging differently somewhere out there could be a coin waiting to surprise the market. And the next legendary discovery might come from an ordinary family collection. The coin market runs on authentication and trust. If you ever believe you found a strange 1964 penny, the next step is professional. Grading companies like PCGS or NGC, they seal coins in protective holders, confirm authenticity, and assign condition grades that determine market value. Coins that look suspicious, raw, and ungraded might sell for a few dollars, but once certified, they can jump dramatically in price because buyers trust the label more than the seller. This is how hidden treasures move from pocket change to auction catalogs. The dream of finding $1 million penny keeps collectors searching, and that dream fuels one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. Coin collecting is history, treasure hunting art, and investment combined into a single small object you can hold in your hand. Every penny tells a story of the year it was made, the machines that struck it, and the people who carried it through decades of American life. A 1964 penny traveled through one of the most transformative periods in modern history, and owning one is holding a time capsule. So tonight, after watching this video, open your coin jars, check your change, ask your parents and grandparents for old collections. Look closely at every 1964 penny you find, because value hides in details that most people ignore, and collectors profit from what others overlook. Maybe you will not find $1 million coin tomorrow, but you might discover a rare error worth hundreds, and that single moment can ignite a lifelong passion for coin collecting. And remember, the greatest treasures are often dismissed as ordinary until the right eyes recognize them. Coins collect a family. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep the dream alive, because the next legendary penny discovery could already be in your pocket. Now let us go deeper into why collectors are obsessed with small details that most people never notice. Because in the coin world, tiny differences create massive value, and the 1964 penny is a perfect example of how ordinary coins can hide extraordinary secrets. When the United States Mint produces billions of coins, speed is everything. Presses run fast, metal flows under pressure, and mistakes are inevitable. These mistakes are not supposed to leave the mint, but history proves that some always escape, and those escapees become collector legends decades later. A penny struck slightly off-center may look damaged to the average person, but to a trained collector, it is a survivor of a mint accident frozen in time. The more dramatic the error, the rarer. The coin and rarity is the engine that drives price in auctions. Then there are die errors. The steel dies that stamp coins wear down, crack, and sometimes shift during production. When this happens, the coin can show doubling ghost images or unusual textures that should not exist. These are not scratches or damage. They are birthmarks from the mint itself, and collectors pay premiums for coins that show these characteristics clearly. Now imagine a 1964 penny that is both unusually dark and shows a verified mint error. Suddenly, the coin is no longer just a toned piece of copper. It becomes a documented anomaly, a conversation piece, a catalog coin, and serious collectors compete fiercely for coins that nobody else can own. Competition is what pushes prices into shocking territory. Auctions are emotional environments. Bidders are not just buying metal. They are buying exclusivity, pride, and history. When two determined collectors want, the same rare penny logic disappears, and records are broken. This is why stories of coins selling for unbelievable amounts spread across the internet, because every high-price sale reinforces the dream that treasure still circulates unnoticed in everyday life, and that dream keeps new collectors entering the hobby every year. Another factor that increases value is grade preservation is power. A coin that looks untouched after 60 years is a miracle of survival. Sharp edges, original luster, and clean surfaces tell graders that the coin escaped circulation. Early high-grade coins exist in tiny numbers compared to worn examples, and scarcity multiplies demand. Collectors often describe the hunt as modern treasure hunting because instead of digging in the ground, you search through Rolls jars. Estate, sales flea markets, and inherited collections. Every place that stores old coins becomes a potential discovery site. Some of the greatest finds in numismatic history came from people who were not experts at all. They were curious, patient, and willing to look closely. Curiosity is the real tool of a collector. Magnifiers and scales come later, but the desire to inspect every coin is what unlocks opportunity. The 1964 penny represents a gateway era coin, common enough to be accessible yet old enough to hide surprises. This balance makes it perfect for beginners and thrilling for experienced collectors, because everyone feels they have a chance. And let us talk about patience, because patience separates casual observers from successful hunters. Serious collectors examine thousands of coins to find one standout piece. But that one coin justifies the entire search. The thrill of discovery creates a rush no ordinary purchase can match. There is also an artistic side to coin. Collecting copper ages, like a canvas exposure to air, creates patterns, colors, and textures that turn simple pennies into miniature works of art. Some dark coins appear almost black velvet under light, and advanced collectors appreciate them, the way art collectors admire paintings. Market trends also play a role. Tastes change over time. Certain era types or toning styles become fashionable, and values rise as demand shifts. A coin ignored for decades can suddenly become desirable when the collecting community recognizes its uniqueness. Education is power in this hobby. The more you learn about minting processes, metal composition, and grading standards, the sharper your eye becomes. Knowledge transforms random searching into strategic hunting, and strategic hunters find better coins. That is why communities like Coins Collector exist to share information, excitement, and discoveries. Every viewer becomes part of a network of treasure seekers connected by curiosity and respect for history. Coins Collector family, today we are diving into one of the most mysterious and talked about coins hiding in plain sight, the 1975 Lincoln 1-cent penny a coin that millions of Americans touched, spent, ignored, and forgot. But what if I told you that some collectors believe a rare version of this tiny copper coin could be worth a fortune, and that a simple penny sitting in an old jar drawer or piggy bank might change someone's life forever? Today, we are exposing the truth, the state, history, the errors, the collector secrets, and the real updated market value of the 1975 Lincoln penny. So stay with me, because this is a story every coin hunter needs to hear. The 1975 Lincoln penny was produced during a fascinating era in American coinage, when inflation, rising metal costs, and mint technology changes were shaping the future of U.S. currency. Millions and millions of these pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, flooding the economy and becoming part of daily life. Yet inside this ocean of common coins, a few special examples emerged. Coins with striking errors, sharp details, and pristine condition that collectors now fight over. Most people think a penny is just a penny. But serious collectors know condition is everything. A 1975 Lincoln cent in worn pocket change condition is worth face value. But when you move into uncirculated grades, the story begins to change. Bright red, luster sharp. Lettering and flawless surfaces transform an ordinary coin into a collectible piece. And high-grade examples, certified by professional grading services, have sold for impressive prices at auction, especially those graded mint state 66, 67, and higher. Now let us talk about the real excitement era coins. The hidden treasures of the 1975 series. Collectors search relentlessly for double die varieties, off-center strikes clipped, planches, and dramatic minting mistakes, Because these are the coins that turn pocket change into headline news. A strong doubled die on the date or lettering can multiply the value many times over. And rare dramatic errors with eye appeal have reached prices that shock new collectors. One of the most talked about possibilities surrounding the 1975 penny is the hunt for transitional metal errors and experimental. Planches during the 1970s, the US Mint was constantly experimenting with metal composition and production efficiency. And whenever a mint experiments, there is always a chance that something unusual escapes into circulation. And when it does, collectors pay attention because these mistakes become legends. High grade 1975. Lincoln cents with blazing original red color have sold for hundreds and, in rare elite cases, over $1,000, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and certification. And while that is not millions, it proves an important lesson in coin collecting. Value is created by rarity, condition, demand, and story. And the story of a coin often matters as much as the metal itself. Imagine a collector opening an old roll of pennies untouched for decades and discovering a perfect gem example frozen in. Time never circulated, never damaged a tiny copper time capsule from 1975. Moments like this fuel the passion of coin hunters around the world, because every roll, every jar, every forgotten stash holds possibility, and that possibility keeps the search alive. The Lincoln cent itself carries deep American symbolism, first introduced in 1909. To honor President Abraham Lincoln. It became one of the most recognizable coins in history, and by 1975 it was already a cultural icon. A coin passed between generations, used in vending machines, lunch counters, and everyday commerce. Yet hidden inside ordinary life were extraordinary survivors, waiting for the right eyes to recognize them. Today, updated market values show that common circulated 1975 pennies remain 1-cent coins, but uncirculated rolls, original bank. Wrapped examples and certified high-grade pieces continue to rise as collectors compete for the best survivors registry set. Collectors push prices upward because they demand perfection, and perfection is rare, even among modern coins. So, what should you look for if you want to hunt a valuable 1975 penny? Start with condition, bright red surfaces, minimal marks, sharp details, and strong luster. Next, inspect for errors using magnification. Search for doubling, unusual shapes off center strikes, or anything that looks different from a normal coin. The unusual is where value hides, and patience is the collector's greatest weapon. Coin collecting is not just about money, it is about history, discovery, and the thrill of the hunt. Every coin tells a story of where it has been, whose hands it passed through, and how it survived the decades. And when you find a Pause Anime special coin, you are holding a piece of American history that traveled through time to reach you. The market for Lincoln cents remains strong because they are affordable, accessible, and deeply loved by collectors. Worldwide, new generations continue to enter the hobby driven by online auction, social media, and viral stories of rare finds, and each story adds energy to the search, inspiring more people to check their change and look closer. Could a 1975 penny ever reach the mythical $1 million level? Only under the most extreme circumstances involving a unique mint error, historical significance, and intense collector demand. But the dream of discovery is what keeps the hobby alive. Because once in a while, an unexpected coin rewrites the price guides and shocks the world. Your mission as a collector is simple. Never ignore. Small coins. Learn the details. Study the varieties, understand grading. And most importantly, keep searching because treasure in coin collecting is not always buried underground. Sometimes it is hiding in a jar on a shelf, waiting for someone curious enough to look. And that is the magic of the 1975 Lincoln penny. A humble coin that reminds us value is not always obvious. Greatness can hide inside ordinary objects, and history often lives in the smallest places. So the next time you see a penny, do not dismiss it. Examine it, respect it, and remember that every great coin discovery started with someone who decided to take a second look. Coins. Collector family, today, we are opening the door to one of the most shocking stories in American coin history. A small copper coin that most people ignore. A coin that millions have touched without knowing its hidden power. The 1957 wheat penny. a simple 1-cent coin that has turned ordinary collectors into legends. And in this episode, we reveal why some 1957 wheat pennies are worth thousands, and the rare examples collectors dream about every night. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at your pocket change the same way again. The 1957 wheat penny was struck during the final golden era of the wheat cent design, a design that had already become a symbol of American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, and by 1957, this coin had traveled through wars, economic booms, and cultural change. Yet it still carried the same proud wheat ears on the reverse and the strong Lincoln portrait on the front. Most people believe a coin made in the millions cannot be valuable. But the truth is, value hides in condition, rarity, and error. And the 1957 wheat penny has all three. In 1957, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion wheat pennies, while the Denver Mint added hundreds of millions more making. It one of the highest production years in the series. At first glance, that sounds like a coin that should be worth only 1 cent. But collectors do not chase ordinary coins. They chase extraordinary survivors. Coins that escaped circulation. Coins that were struck perfectly. Coins with mint errors, and coins preserved in mint state condition. And this is where the story becomes exciting. A common circulated 1957 wheat penny is usually worth a few cents to a few dollars, depending on condition. But when we move into uncirculated grades, the price begins to climb sharply. A brilliant red mint state example, graded MS65, can sell for $20 to $50, and higher grades, such as MS66 and MS67, can reach hundreds of dollars, because these coins are extremely difficult to find without mark scratches or fading color. The red copper glow is what collectors fight for, and only a tiny fraction of the original mintage survived in that perfect fiery state. But the real treasure hunters search for the legendary 1957 D wheat penny, with strong strike and exceptional luster high-grade Denver coins, have crossed auction blocks for hundreds, and sometimes over $1,000 when certified by professional grading services. And when a coin reaches near perfect condition, the price jumps dramatically, because registry collectors compete fiercely to own the finest known example. Now we enter the world of mint errors, where the 1957 wheat penny becomes a monster in the collector market. Doubled dies off center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks transform an ordinary cent into a museum piece. The most famous is the 1957 doubled die obverse, where the lettering and date show visible doubling to the naked eye. These coins are rare and highly demanded, and strong examples have sold for over $1,000, with premium pieces pushing even higher, depending on eye appeal and certification. Imagine finding such a coin in an old jar inherited from family, or hidden in a forgotten drawer. This is why collectors constantly search rolls from banks, estate sales, and flea markets, because history repeats itself and treasures reappear when least expected every wheat. Penny deserves inspection under magnification, especially the date, mint mark, and lettering, because the smallest detail can separate a 1-cent coin from a 4-figure collectible. Color also plays a massive role in value. Collectors categorize copper cents as brown-red, brown or full red coins, with blazing original mint color command the strongest premiums, because copper naturally darkens over time, preserving that red. Brilliance for nearly 70 years is extremely rare, and coins stored in ideal conditions become time capsules of the 1950s mint. Grading is another battlefield. Beginners often underestimate how strict professional grading can be. A coin that looks perfect to the naked eye may still grade lower due to microscopic marks, strike weakness, or color inconsistency. This is why authentication and certification by major grading companies adds trust and often multiplies market value. Serious collectors prefer slabbed coins because they guarantee authenticity and long-term protection. The emotional power of the Wheat Penny series also drives demand. These coins connect generations. Grandparents saved them, children searched for them, and modern investors treat them as entry points into numismatics. The 1957 issue represents the final chapter. Before the Lincoln Memorial design replaced the wheat reverse in 1959, making it part of the closing act of a legendary series, and collectors love final era coins because they symbolize transition and history. Market trends show steady growth in high-grade wheat cents as more collectors compete for top registry sets. Population reports reveal how few perfect examples exist, and scarcity at the highest levels fuels aggressive bidding wars. Auction records continue to surprise even experienced dealers, proving that condition, rarity always wins in the long run. If you want to search for valuable 1957 wheat pennies, start by checking old coin rolls, inherited collections, and bank-wrapped cents. Use a magnifying glass or coin microscope. Examine the date and lettering for doubling, inspect the rims for off-center strikes, and look for unusual textures that may indicate mint. Errors never clean a coin, because cleaning destroys value instantly. Even a rare error coin loses collector appeal if its original surface is damaged. Storage matters just as much as discovery. Keep coins in acid-free. Holders avoid humidity, and never touch the surface with bare fingers. Oils from skin can stain. Copper permanently. Smart preservation today can turn a modest coin into a premium collectible decades from now. The dream of finding $1 million penny fuels every collector. And while the 1957 wheat penny has not reached that legendary price tier, the excitement comes from the hunt. The knowledge and the possibility that the next coin you inspect could be a rare doubled die or flawless mint state survivor waiting to shock the market coin. Collecting is not just a hobby. It is a treasure hunt written in metal. And every wheat penny carries a whisper from the past. So the next time you see a small copper cent, do not ignore it. Hold it up to the light, study its surface. Imagine the hands it traveled through since 1957. Imagine the stories it could tell. And remember that hidden among billions of ordinary coins are the rare few that rewrite collector history. And your journey as a coin hunter begins with a single careful look. Today, we are opening the door to one of the most exciting secrets hiding in American pocket change. And this is not just another old penny story. This is about the 1950 wheat penny, a coin that millions of people ignored for decades. But a few lucky collectors now chase like treasure, because certain rare examples of this small copper coin are connected to prices that shock the market and turn ordinary change into collector gold. Right now, somewhere in the United States, a forgotten jar, a dusty drawer, or an old family coin box could be holding a 1950 wheat penny worth far more than 1 cent, and most people would spend it without even looking twice. But serious collectors know that the wheat penny era is one of the richest hunting grounds in American coin history, and the 1950 issue sits in a fascinating position between common circulation coins and rare high-grade survivors that command attention at auctions around the world. The wheat penny design itself already carries legendary status. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln, this coin became the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical figure and not a symbolic image. The reverse design with the 2 wheat ears became an instant classic, and today collectors see it as a symbol of early 20th century America, industry growth, and everyday commerce. By 1950, the United States was entering a powerful post-war economic boom. Pennies were struck in huge numbers to support expanding trade and daily transactions. But mass production does not automatically mean every coin is common, because condition, rarity, mint errors, and preservation create an entirely different world of value. And this is where the story becomes exciting for anyone holding a 1950 wheat penny. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1950 pennies, yet most of them circulated heavily. They were scratched, worn, faded, and eventually lost to time. But a tiny fraction survived in extraordinary mint state condition coins that never saw real circulation. Coins that were pulled from fresh rolls or saved by early collectors who somehow understood the future importance of preserving perfect examples. When a 1950 wheat penny appears in top certified grades, the market reacts strongly because collectors compete for the finest survivors, population reports. From grading services reveal how rare true gem quality coins really are, and when supply is microscopic and demand is global, prices can climb to levels that surprise new collectors. But condition is only one side of the story, because mint errors add another layer of mystery, and value error coins represent moments when the minting process briefly failed, creating accidental varieties that today function like fingerprints of history. Off-center strikes doubled, dies, clipped planchets, and other mechanical anomalies transform an ordinary penny into a unique collectible artifact. Imagine finding a 1950 wheat penny with a dramatic off-center strike where part of the design is missing, yet the date remains visible. Collectors pay strong premiums for visually striking errors because they are instantly recognizable and impossible to duplicate each. One captures a split second in the minting press, frozen forever in copper. Another factor driving excitement is the Denver and San Francisco mint issues marked with small mint letters below the date. Collectors build complete sets and often seek the highest graded example from each mint location. This competitive registry culture pushes elite coins into headline prices, especially when two determined buyers refuse to back down at auction. Even circulated 1950 wheat pennies hold value beyond face because they represent a closing chapter of the classic wheat era, which would end in 1958. Many collectors assemble full wheat penny albums, and every date matters. The emotional satisfaction of filling that final empty slot in an album keeps demand alive year after year. Now let us talk about the dream scenario that fuels coin hunting across America. The possibility of discovering an overlooked treasure in everyday places, estate sales, flea markets, inherited collections, or bank-wrapped rolls. Searched late at night by dedicated hobbyists, stories continue to surface about rare coins found by ordinary people. And while million-dollar headlines are rare, the thrill of the hunt is very real and very addictive. The key to success is education. Collectors who study grading, learn to recognize original surfaces, and understand mint error diagnostics gain a powerful advantage. Knowledge turns a casual searcher into a strategic hunter, and the 1950 wheat penny becomes more than a coin. It becomes a test of observation, patience, and expertise. Preservation also plays a critical role. Improper cleaning destroys value instantly because serious collectors demand originality. A coin with natural color and untouched surfaces will always outperform a polished example. Experienced numismatists repeat the same rule again and again. Never clean old coins because history cannot be restored once it is erased. As we look at auction archives, we see how the market rewards excellence. Superb. Gem 1950. Wheat pennies certified at the highest levels achieve prices that multiply their humble 1-cent origin. Many of these coins were saved by chance, tucked away in rolls or collections, and forgotten until rediscovered decades later. Their journey from pocket change to auction spotlight proves how time transforms ordinary objects into historical collectibles. For new collectors, the message is clear. Every coin deserves a second look, especially wheat pennies from the mid-20th century. The difference between a common piece and a premium collectible can be subtle yet life-changing. Sharp details. Blazing luster and minimal marks separate elite coins from the rest, and training your eye to see these details is part of the adventure. The 1950 wheat penny stands as a reminder that value is not always loud. Sometimes it hides quietly in plain sight, waiting for the person curious enough to pay attention. And in a world rushing toward digital money, the tactile connection of holding a historic coin creates a powerful bridge to the past. Coins collectors from around the world. Today, we are opening the door to one of the most exciting secrets in American coin history. And this tiny copper coin could change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent wheat penny from 1953 and discovering it is worth not $1, not $1,000, but a life-changing amount that serious collectors fight for every year. This is not just a coin story. This is a treasure hunt, and today you are part of it. The 1953 wheat penny is one of those coins that looks ordinary to the average person, but to experienced collectors, it can be a hidden jackpot. The wheat penny design itself already carries history. Pride and artistry first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln. This design remained until 1958, and the 1953 issue sits near the end of that legendary era, which makes it even more interesting for collectors who want complete wheat cent collections. In 1953, the United States Mint produced wheat pennies in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint created coins with small differences, and those differences are where the real value begins. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins carry a small D, and San Francisco coins carry a small S below the date. Many people ignore these tiny letters, But serious collectors know mint marks can multiply value instantly. The most common 1953 wheat pennies are worth only a few cents in worn condition, but the story changes dramatically when we talk about high-grade uncirculated coins and rare mint errors. Coins that never entered circulation and still shine with original mint luster can sell for surprising prices, especially when certified by professional grading. Companies' collectors are willing to pay premium money for coins graded MS65, MS66 or higher, because these coins are extremely difficult to find in perfect condition after more than 70 years. Now let us talk about the dream scenario that excites every coin hunter. Error. Coins during production mistakes happened, and sometimes those mistakes created rarities that are now worth thousands or even more doubled die. Errors off center strikes and repunched mint marks are among the most valuable varieties. A strong doubled die on a 1953 wheat penny can make the lettering look shadowed or doubled, and when authenticated, this kind of coin becomes a star piece in auctions. Another factor that pushes value higher is original red color. Copper coins naturally darken over time, but a 1953 penny that still shows full red brilliance is rare collectors. Describe colors as brown, red, brown, or full red, and full red examples bring the strongest prices. A high-grade 1953S wheat penny with full red color has sold for hundreds, and in exceptional condition, even more during competitive bidding. Condition is everything in coin. Collecting two pennies from the same year can have a price difference of thousands simply because of wear scratches or weak strike professional grading, protects buyers and sellers, and confirms authenticity. So if you believe you have a special 1953 penny, sending it to a grading service could reveal its true market power. Let us imagine you discover a 1953 wheat penny in an old jar or inherited collection. The first step is gentle inspection. Never clean the coin, because cleaning destroys value. Hold it by the edges. Use soft lighting and look closely at the date. Mint mark and lettering. Search for doubling unusual shine or strange alignment. Even a small detail can transform a common coin into a collector prize. The coin market is driven by demand, and wheat pennies remain one of the most popular entry points for collectors worldwide. Millions of people build Lincoln Cent albums, and they constantly search for upgrades. Better color, sharper strike, and rarer varieties. This steady demand keeps prices strong and ensures that top-quality 1953 pennies will always attract attention. Some sellers exaggerate and claim every 1953 penny is worth millions, which is not realistic, but the excitement comes from the possibility of rare high-grade or error examples that can reach impressive auction results. Education is your strongest tool. When you understand grading mint history and error types, you move from guessing to investing. Collectors love stories, and every coin carries one. Your 1953 wheat penny traveled through decades of American history. It may have passed through thousands of hands-bought candy, paid bus fare, or rested forgotten in a drawer. Until today. Now it enters a new chapter as a collectible artifact and maybe even a profitable discovery. Before you spend any old penny, always check the date, and mint mark create a habit of looking closely. Because valuable coins hide in plain sight. Many legendary finds came from ordinary pocket change and patient collectors who refuse to ignore small details. The difference between 1 cent and a rare collectible often comes down to knowledge and attention. As we go deeper into the world of the 1953 wheat penny, you begin to understand that real collectors do not just look at coins. They study them like detectives. Every tiny mark, every shine pattern, every ridge along the edge tells a story about how that coin was born and how it survived through time. The minting process in the early 1950s was fast and powerful. Massive presses struck thousands of coins per minute. And when pressure alignment or metal flow shifted even slightly, a unique variety could appear. And that is where hidden value is created. Inside the mint blank copper planchets were fed into machines that stamped Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and the iconic wheat ears on the back. When the dies were fresh, the details appeared sharp and bold, but as dies aged, the strike became softer, sometimes producing weak lettering or blurred lines. Collectors today search for coins with strong strikes because sharp detail means the coin represents the design exactly as the artist intended. One of the most exciting moments for a collector is discovering a high-grade coin in an unexpected place. Many valuable wheat pennies were pulled from circulation decades ago and stored in rolls jars and forgotten envelopes. Families often pass down coins. Without realizing what they hold, a single roll of original bank-wrapped 1953 pennies can contain untouched treasures, coins that never experienced circulation, friction, and still glow with mint frost opening. Such a roll feels like opening a time capsule from mid-century America. When grading a 1953 wheat penny, professionals examine several features: luster, surface preservation, strike quality, and eye. Appeal luster is the natural shine created by microscopic flow lines during minting when a coin is rotated under light. This shine moves like a cartwheel across the surface. Strong, uninterrupted luster signals. Minimal handling and increases. Desirability scratches. Stains or dull patches reduce grade and therefore reduce value. Eye appeal is another powerful factor. Two coins with the same technical grade can sell for very different prices if one looks cleaner. Brighter and more attractive collectors are emotional buyers. They chase beauty as much as rarity. A glowing red 1953 penny with smooth surfaces can outperform a technically equal coin that appears spotted or dark. Let us talk about auction energy, because this is where numbers can surprise people. When a rare error or superb condition wheat penny appears in a major auction, serious bidders compete aggressively. Prices rise in seconds. Surfaces can outperform a technically equal coin that appears spotted or dark. Let us talk about auction energy, because this is where numbers can surprise people. When a rare error or superb condition wheat penny appears in a major auction, serious bidders compete aggressively. Prices rise in seconds, and records can fall. A coin that might sit quietly in a collection for decades suddenly becomes the center of attention, and its value is decided by pure demand. In that moment, this competitive environment is why top certified examples achieve headline prices. Treasure hunters today. We are diving into one of the most talked about hidden gems in American pocket change history. The legendary 1952 wheat penny, a coin that most people ignore every day. But a coin that in rare condition and rare error form can be worth shocking amounts of money. And yes, some examples have sold for prices that collectors call life-changing. And today, we are going deep into the history, the mint story, the rare varieties, the errors, the grading secrets, and the real market values that dealers do not always tell beginners. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny was struck during a time when America was growing fast after the war. Factories were booming. Families were saving coins in jars, and millions of pennies were circulating across the country. The coin still carried the classic wheat ears design, on the back a symbol of American agriculture and strength, a design that collectors today consider one of the most beautiful in U.S. coinage history. In 1952, the United States Mint produced wheat pennies in 3 major locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint created coins with small differences, and those differences are exactly where collectors start hunting for value. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of coins, and most of them are common in circulated condition. But when you find a 1952 penny with strong red colorful luster and no wear, the value jumps dramatically, because high-grade examples are much harder to find than people think. Many coins from that era were used heavily in daily life, which means untouched mint. State coins are rare survivors. A bright red 1952 Philadelphia wheat penny, graded in gem mint condition, can sell for hundreds of dollars. And when the strike is perfect and the surfaces are clean, elite graded examples can push into the $1,000 range. Especially when certified by major grading companies, collectors pay premiums for perfection and registry set. Competition drives prices higher every year. Now we move to the Denver Mint. The 1952 D wheat penny is famous among specialists because certain die varieties and strike qualities make this coin exciting to search for. Some Denver coins show sharp details, while others show weak strikes, and collectors love hunting. The strongest examples, high-grade red specimens from Denver, can command serious money, and rare die crack or repunched mint mark varieties can multiply the value instantly. Error coins are where the real thrill begins. Off-center strikes doubled. Dies clipped planchets. And lamination errors from 1952 have appeared in auctions. And when dramatic errors are discovered, the coin transforms from a simple penny into a headline collectible. Some major error examples have sold for thousands because collectors chase uniqueness and rarity above all else. The San Francisco Mint adds another layer of fascination. The 1952 S-Wheat penny often comes with softer strikes, but when you discover a sharply detailed example, with blazing original red color collectors, consider it a trophy coin. Top population graded pieces are tightly held, and auction appearances trigger bidding wars because advanced collectors are always upgrading their sets. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A worn penny might be worth a few cents, but a mint state red gem can explode in value grading scales, measure every tiny mark, every hairline scratch, and every hint of wear. And that microscopic difference is what separates pocket change from investment-grade collectibles. Many people ask, can a 1952 wheat penny really be worth millions? And the honest answer is that only the rarest of rare combinations, extreme error, plus perfect preservation, plus historical significance could ever approach such legendary numbers. But what makes this exciting is that ordinary people still find valuable coins in old jars, estate collections, and inherited boxes every year. And that possibility keeps the treasure hunt alive. Professional grading services authenticate coins, seal them in protective holders, and assign numeric grades. This process creates trust in the marketplace, and collectors are willing to pay far more for certified examples, because authenticity and condition are guaranteed when a coin receives a top population grade. It becomes a registry prize, and registry collectors compete fiercely, pushing prices to astonishing levels. Another factor driving value is eye appeal. Two coins with the same technical grade can sell for very different prices if one has richer color, cleaner surfaces, and stronger luster. Advanced collectors buy with their eyes, and emotional impact plays a huge role in auction results. Historical context also adds power to the 1952 wheat penny. This coin represents the final era before the wheat design was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, meaning collectors see late-date wheat cents as the closing chapter of a beloved series, and closing chapters always attract attention. Roll hunting has become a modern phenomenon where collectors search bankrolls hoping to discover overlooked treasures. Stories circulate online of lucky hunters finding high-grade wheat pennies and rare errors hiding in circulation. And those stories fuel the dream that the next valuable coin could still be out there waiting. Education is the strongest tool for any collector learning how to identify mint marks, recognize original color, detect cleaning damage, and spot real errors, protects you from costly mistakes, and turns casual searching into skilled treasure hunting. The more knowledge you gain, the more opportunities you see. Market demand for classic American coins continues to grow as new collectors enter the hobby, driven by social media, auction headlines, and viral treasure stories. Wheat pennies are often the gateway coin, affordable, historic, and packed with discovery potential, which keeps them permanently popular. If you own a 1952 wheat penny, the first step is simple. Examine the coin under good lighting. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys value. Look for mint marks. Check the color. Red, brown, or brown. Inspect the surfaces for unusual features and compare with trusted grading guides. If the coin looks exceptional, professional grading might unlock hidden value. The beauty of coin collecting is that every small piece of metal carries history. Every penny traveled through hands across decades, buying groceries, riding buses, passing through registers, and surviving time. When you hold a wheat penny, you hold a silent witness to American life in the early 1950s. And that emotional connection is priceless to collectors. As prices rise and supplies tighten, high-quality examples become harder to find, which means long-term collectors often treat gem wheat pennies as miniature stores of wealth. Compact, historic, and globally recognized, the best coins combine rarity, condition, beauty, and story, and the 1952 wheat penny checks all those boxes for serious enthusiasts.